Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play Steins Zero. In the last episode, Rintaro Okabe was conversing with Amadeus Kurisu just outside of Yanabayashi's shrine. Unfortunately, Rintaro was so taken in by Amadeus Kurisu's mannerisms and her, and the fact that she was behaving virtually the exact same way as the real Kurisu Makase. Unfortunately, that revelation was more than enough to trigger another wave of panic attacks, as he once again remembered that it was none other than himself who took the life of Kurisu Makase on July 28th. But now things should be a little bit better. I was fine just a moment ago. But now even hearing Amadeus Kurisu's voice was enough to send me into a panic. I'd gone back to how I was half a year ago. Back then, even hearing Kurisu's name was enough to make me dizzy. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's too late for that. I shouldn't have tried to chase Kurisu's shadow, yet chase it you did. For now, I should just turn off the smartphone, because anything more will probably be reported to Maho and Leskenin, and probably, having said that, probably the current situation may yet be reported to those two as well. But in the end, I couldn't make that decision. Looks like we're talking to Amadeus Kurisu again. Or not. We're back in Akihabara. I gulped down an entire bottle of mineral water and caught my breath. There was still a little time before my meeting. I wanted to get some air up here and recover a little. I looked down over the scenery below the overpass. The city was in the Christmas spirit. The atmosphere was charged with excitement. There's the Christmas tree. Now, of course, here in New Zealand, it would be summer as opposed to winter. The only time I ever really experienced an actual winter Christmas was overseas in 2002-2003, which was a very long time ago. But it was the one time that I ever got to experience an actual snowy winter Christmas as opposed to a summer Christmas. Of course, this place was the exact opposite of me, that is to say, Rintaro Okabe. I took more deep breaths. I still felt like I wanted to throw up. Well, hopefully we might be able to take a medication or two and see if that works, though it's probably not a good idea to overdose or become addicted to those medicines, to be perfectly honest. I was getting a headache too. If I went to Dr. Leskenin like this, I'm sure I'd worry him. I think the one who would really be worried is Maho. And then I realized that the two girls coming up from the stairs were looking at me. I peered into the late afternoon darkness to try and make out their faces. One of them, the girl with the short haircut, waved. And lo and behold, it's Mayuri's friends, Fubuki and Kade. I know her real name is Katsumi, and I honestly for the life of me can't remember her last name, but Kade's last name is Kirishima, that I do know. Hail and well met. They were Mayuri's friends and fellow cosplayers. I think their cosplay names were Kaide and Fubuki. Or rather, Fubuki and Kaide. I didn't know their real names. Kaide's cosplay name is her real name. She just goes with it. Which was Kaide and which was Fubuki again? It's probably been a while since Rintaro's met these two in person. Yeah, now is actually probably not the best time to be conversing at the moment. If I made them worry here and they talked to Mayuri, it would cause a big fuss. I didn't want Mayushi to worry about me when she didn't have to. I shouldn't have come back to Akihabara anyway, nor to the Future Gadget Laboratory. It seems that we've dug up more than a few memories and opened more than a few old wounds. I'd run into people I knew just walking through town. I should have gone toward Kanda when I left the shrine. That's very kind of you to say, Fubuki. Well, now at least we know which is which, Rintaro. It appears that we're making Mayuri worry regardless. This Fubuki girl must really care about Mayuri. I felt a little bitter after hearing that. That's good to know. Yeah, I forgot for a moment that Fubuki was teasing Mayuri about her relationship with Rintaro, but Mayuri said that there was somebody else that she liked. But that is actually the worst possible question that you could ask Rintaro Okabe at this situation. Because the person that he liked, the person that he loves, was her life was taken by his own hands, and her blood is still on his hands, so to speak. That person is Kurisu Makase, but she has been dead for several months now. The girl I like. An image of Kurisu appeared in the corner of my eye again. Hopefully Rintaro doesn't collapse. Best case scenario, he collapses in the middle of the overpass. Worst case scenario, he actually falls over the railing. The feeling in my hands when I took her life came back. That shaking. That inevitable trauma from July 28th. No, calm down. It's, I believe it's too late for that. Rudeness doesn't even apply to it, Fubuki. That's not what this is about. Looks like things are going from bad to worse. Hopefully the trauma should subside this time, but that is a forlorn hope. Kade and Fubuki were looking at me worried. I got away from them as fast as I could. That, in all fairness, that could have been a lot worse. Anyway, that's the end of Closed Epigraph. It's now the second chapter, I believe, X-Day Protocol. Because we got an achievement that you can't see. I don't know why, for some... Hold on, I just got to turn my microphone off before I sneeze. There we go. I don't know why, for some reason, the Steam achievements appeared in my original Let's Play of Steins Gate, but for some reason they don't pop up in my Let's Play of Steins Gate 0. But anyway, we're here once again with Maho and Leskenin, and Rintaro has said he's decided to stop being a tester. Too many bad memories. When I started the conversation with that, both Dr. Leskenin and Maho looked shocked. We were meeting in a room at a luxury hotel in the heart of Tokyo. It felt like the sort of secret meeting you would see in a spy movie, or maybe it only felt that way because the old me wasn't completely gone.
いきなりそんなこと。無責任だわ。
And Maho was understandably upset, but then again Rintaro is not without a reason for his actions. Maho seemed to finally understand what I meant, and her anger was clear. Well, if we were conversing with Amadeus Maho, things might have gone very differently, but since we're dealing with Amadeus Kurisu, things can only go from bad to worse.
Maho, 落ち着けなさい.
And for once, Professor Leskenin is acting like the responsible adult.
このテストはむしろRintaroの善意で成り立ってるんだよ.
It's very kind of you to say so.
引き受けてもらえただけでもこちらとしてはありがたかった.
Thank you very much.
ここで辞退しても無責任ということは決してないから大丈夫.
Yeah, the stress and anxiety is really starting to get to Rintaro at this point. And if he breaks again, there will probably be no recovering from that point. Dr. Leskenin smiled and offered me his hand. I took a hold of his giant hand and shook it back, but I looked down, unable to look him in the eye.
すみません.
It's not your fault, Rintaro.
ただ私としてもできれば続けてもらいたいんだよ.
Probably means that we'll have to get rid of the Amadeus app so that Amadeus Kurisu can't get in touch with us.
ざっとログを見たがかなり頻繁に話してくれているじゃないか.
Yeah, we certainly have been conversing quite a lot over these past few weeks. We've shared more than we cared to.
研究室で我々が相手をしていた頃とはクリスの話し方がだいぶ違う.
Probably because Amadeus Kurisu, while she's at the laboratory, is in a very formal environment. Outside of the laboratory, it's less formal.
人は社会的な生き物だ. 相手と状況によって言動を変える.
Well, you're not entirely wrong there.
それをAmadeusでも再現できていると見ていいだろう. だからこそもうしばらくテストを続けたいんだ.
So you were wanting to test Amadeus Kurisu's social capabilities. Unfortunately, if Rintaro continues to converse with Amadeus Kurisu any further, he might snap.
ちなみにやめようと思った理由は何かな? Amadeus と話すのが辛くなったかい?
Yeah, even though we remembered the fact that Amadeus Kurisu is an artificial intelligence, she's too close to the real Kurisu for Rintaro's comfort.
いえ、逆です。
And that probably makes it even more painful.
アマデウスとクリスと話すのはとても楽しいんです。
And And that right there is the
でもそれ
problem.
が怖くて
And then I desperately tried to explain the feelings that were welling up inside of me, even though I still didn't understand them myself. I told them how scared I was that I was starting to see Kurisu Makase and Amadeus Kurisu as the same person.
やはり君に負担をかけてしまったね。本当にすまない。
Well, to be fair, we probably should have taken Maho's advice to begin with.
た
In
だ
all respects.
君のその反応はとても興味深い。
It seems that you are ever the scientist yourself,
研
Leskenin.
究者ではない目線でアマデウスを捉えているという意味で私も勉強になるよ。
Well, Rintaro is essentially an amateur scientist, no longer the insane and mad scientist of Ho in Kyoma.
こんな言い方や感じ方になってしまうのも許してほしい。何しろ根っからの研究者なものでね。
So in other words, essentially cut from the same cloth or a similar cloth to Maho and Kurisu.
いえ
Which is probably why
こっち
you
も
got along so
わがま
well.
ま言っているのは分かっているんです。
Maho hadn't said a word for a while. She was frowning, and she seemed to be intently focused on studying Amadeus's logs. Maybe she thinks that Rintaro is running away from his problems, but that's not entirely the case. I didn't want her looking at me because it made me feel guilty, but
分かった。テストの事態については君の望む通りにしよう。
well, it seems that Rintaro is prepared to part ways at this
Ta-da.
point.
アクセス権は君のスマートフォンにそのまま残しておいて構わないかな。
That kind of defeats the purpose of not being a tester if the Amadeus app is still on our phone, and that's not to mention an incredible security risk.
今後アマデウスと話すのも話さないのも君の自由だ。
Maybe Leskenin is hoping that talking to Amadeus Kurisu might actually be therapeutic. Unfortunately, Leskenin, it would have the complete opposite
クリス
effect.
の方からは君に連絡しないように言っておくから。
It depends on whether Amadeus Kurisu decides to follow through with that. Although maybe she might. She might listen to
私たち
Leskenin.
と君との関係を今日これで終わりにはしたくないんだ。せっかくできた日本の友人だし、それに魔法も寂しがるしね。
I truly doubt that Maho would be sad.
教授
If anything, she's more angry than sad. Indeed, he was having a joke at her
わ
expense.
かりました。
I felt like giving in, but at the same time, I didn't want to lose my relationship with Dr. Leskenin, especially since we're still trying to get a foothold in the door of Victor Condria, although that might actually... my goal of going to Victor Condria University hadn't changed at all, even though actually being there would actually could actually trigger another series of anxiety panic attacks, given the fact that Kurisu worked there as well. And is that our phone? And then Dr. Leskenin got a call on his smartphone, so it was a phone call for him.
おっと、失礼。ちょっと電話してくるよ。
Very well.
魔法、その間にリンタロと仲直りしておくようにね。
Something tells me that she's not going to do that. Dr. Leskenin left the room with a mischievous wink. I was alone with Maho Hiajo, who's now looking somewhat despondent.
ごめんなさい。さっきは怒鳴ったりして。
いや、
Water under the bridge. I know that's a tired cliche, but it has to be said.
教授の言う通り、こちらがお願いしている立場なのに。
And she's probably interested to see how Amadeus Kurisu has been interacting with Rintaro.
アマデウスは今の私にとっては姉妹。子供みたいなものだから。
Yeah, it would be more accurate to say that Kurisu Makase is more like a sister to you.
それを投げ出されたように思えて、つい。
No, but unfortunately dealing with Amadeus Kurisu in this situation would be more painful than we could
力にならな
bear.
くてすまない。
あなたの気持ちも分かっているつもりよ。あるいはつもりだったかしら。
That's good to know. Maho sighed again.
自己嫌悪だわ。ダメね、私。
Well, you
多
tried.
分前頭前皮質がひねくれてできてるのよ。そうに違いないわ。
No, you're just not very sociable with most people.
前頭前皮質は人格を形成する部位の一つね。情報のフィルタリングを行うこともあるわ。己の中の認めがたい情報を遮断したり、自己欺瞞を行ったり。
That actually was something that I didn't know about.
よくわからない。
要するにむき出しの情動を隠そうとしてとっさに嘘をついたりするのよ。他人だけじゃなく自分自身にもね。
Of course, in the case of Amadeus Kurisu, I doubt that she herself would have a prefrontal cortex. Of course, if she did and it reacted the same way as it does in human beings, then she would actually be somewhat closer to humanity than anyone could ever think possible.
今の私みたいに
Which is a terrifying
難しい言
thought.
葉を並べて自分を取り繕ってやろうとか。
I think both Rintaro and Kurisu would know how that feels when they're completely embarrassed by something they just babble scientific nonsense.
こういうことも前頭前皮質がやってるんだと思うわ。
So that's what you were talking about. That would apply just as well to the old me, Hoin Kioma. When I realized that, there was nothing I could say.
誰でもそういうことってあると思う。
私は特別ひどいのよ。多分。今後も気が向いたらでいいからアマデウスを構ってあげて。ほんの短い時間でもいいの。
Sure, we'll definitely do that.
考えておくよ。
We'll give it some thought,
ありがとう。
at the very least. And Maho is a little bit more relieved. Maho flopped back onto the sofa.
なあ、聞いていいか？クリスの母親のこと。
Yeah, we never really learned much about Kurisu's mother, especially from her,
お
other than that she's still living in America. And we desperately want to avoid the subject of her father.
君と レスキネン教授が話しているのが偶然聞こえたんだ。
Actually, come to think of it, something happened to her
クリスの
house.
家に何かあったって。
Which is very disturbing.
ああ、あのこと。
Maho seemed to remember it quickly. She nodded.
クリスのお母さんから電話があったの。家に放火されたんですって。
Was it a arsonist? Or was it someone more deliberate?
大丈夫なのか？
ちょうどその日は留守にしていたから大丈夫だったそうよ。
So someone decided to torch her house when she wasn't there, which may have been their intention all along. Of course, that was a relief that she wasn't hurt. After all that had happened, I really didn't want Kurisu's mother to have to go through any more.
私、クリスのお母さんには結構可愛がってもらっていたの。
Probably because she felt that you were very similar to Kurisu.
休日に家にもよく招待してもらってね。だから心配だわ。変なことに巻き込まれていなければいいのだけど。
I should hope that that isn't the case, but something truly strange is going on. I noticed the way she said the phrase. A cold chill ran down my back.
ただの放火じゃないのか？
それが。
Maho seems a little bit hesitant here. Maho seemed unsure if she should tell me.
ヒアジョーさん。
I urged her to speak. She nodded slightly. Whatever information you have could be very useful.
それが最初は地元の警察が捜査していたらしいのだけれど、その後 FBI を名乗る人たちが来たらしくて。
Yeah, that was the strange part, that the Federal Bureau of Investigation would get involved.
FBI?
If it was just a simple case of hit and run arson, then I doubt that it would be described as a federal crime.
ええ、FBI が出てくるような事件じゃないのによ。
I pretty much said as much, Maho.
それと放火した犯人を隣の住人が目撃していたそうなんだけど。
So it seems that there was a witness to the crime.
その証言によると、犯人はただの放火犯には見えなかったって。
So they weren't just some random person from the street.
というと？
複数犯でね、なんだか特殊部隊みたいだったって。ほとんど何も喋らず、火をつけたらすぐ近くに止まっていた車に乗り込んで去っていったそうよ。
Yeah, that definitely doesn't sound like your typical arsonist or pyromaniac. Some kind of special forces unit.
こんな言い方が正しいかどうかわからないけど、手際がすごく良かったみたい。
So they meant to make it seem like arson to throw off the case, but if that were true, then they failed because the FBI got
火の
involved.
回りも異常なほど早かったらしいわ。
Was she trying to say that it was no ordinary arson, but the work of a professional? I couldn't laugh away the possibility. Me neither. I knew for a fact that there were people like that in this world.
それと
But, cerns around us were only ever interested in getting IBN 5100s. I don't see, if anything, deliberately causing arson and sabotage, while certainly not above or beneath them, would draw attention to them.
それと
その犯人たちがロシア語を話していたって。
Russian Special Forces.
ロシア語
That's certainly an odd twist. And if I would be tempted to say that they might be in league with Dr. Nakabashi, but if we recall, he's more of their prisoner than their guest. But Russians. The first thing that came to mind, whether I liked it or not, was Nakabashi. Well, he did defect to Russia, and sadly on this world line his papers, his time travel theory, which by the way was completely taken from Kurisu Makase, his own daughter, is now in the hands of Russia, basically. And Russia are one of the three big power players of the World War III world line of 2036. Half a year ago, he stole a paper about time travel from Kurisu's own daughter and used it to seek asylum in Russia. Could that have something to do with it? It's would be a colossal mistake to rule out that possibility.
それともう一つ、クリスが亡くなったばかりの頃、私たちの研究室でもおかしなことがあったの。
Something strange happened.
地元警察と一緒に日本の刑事という人が来たのよ。日米の合同捜査でクリスの事件を調べているって。
A joint US-Japan investigation.
もちろん私たちはできる範囲で協力したんだけれど。
Seems that they were investigating Kurisu's
何日か
murder.
経って大学が警察に問い合わせをしたら、そんな刑事が日本から来た事実はないって言われたわ。
So that detective from Japan may not have been a detective
その日
after
本の刑事
all.
は偽物だった。
それだけじゃないの。地元警察も私たちの研究室を捜査した事実はないって。
This is getting even more disturbing.
日本の刑事どころか警察と称してやってきた人たち全員が
偽物。
So if someone else is interested in the Brain Science Institute, and for that to take place right after the death of Kurisu Makase
そのことがあってから私
is a truly terrifying thought. Maho shook a little and wrapped her arms around herself.
私クリスの死には何か裏があると疑っているわ。別に陰謀論者ではないけれど。
Of course, it hardly needs to be said that the one person who knows the truth about Kurisu Makase's death is Rintaro Okabe, Hoin Kiyoma.
何かもっと別の理由でクリスは殺されて、それが闇に葬られてしまったんじゃないかと、そう考えているのよ。
Although Maho seems to think that she was killed by the very people who were pretending to be Japanese investigators. Unfortunately, as I just said, only Rintaro knows the true circumstances of Kurisu's death, and they certainly had nothing to do with any conspiracy. Of course, this is only going to make things worse again for Rintaro. I was the one who killed Kurisu. The police never found out, and they never would, probably. No one could prove a murder that had been committed by a time traveler. Police had announced that a foreign thief had snuck into the storeroom at the radio building, and Kurisu had been killed before because she saw him. Supposedly there was an international warrant out from the thief's arrest because he had already left the country. And that of course put suspicion on Nakabashi. And when I killed Kurisu, there was one other person there, Dr. Nakabashi, who almost certainly would have killed Kurisu Makase due to world line convergence. But it was eerie that his name hadn't come up at all. Russia, CERN, the time machine. I remembered the future that Suzuha, or rather John Taito, had spoken of. She'd said that World War III was going to start within a decade, and it would be the time machine that set it off. The EU and Russia would be in a race to develop it, and then even America would intervene. That would be the spark to a great conflagration. Truly ominous events are taking place. Were we at the center of a chain of events that would result in the deaths of 5.7 billion people? I couldn't help but feel that way. This could very well be another instance of world line convergence, Rintaro Okabe.
このままじゃクリスは浮かばれないわ。真実を知りたい。
Trust me, Maho Yajo. Rintaro wants nothing more than to tell you the truth. But of course, even if you understand and accept his reasons, I know you, and he will understand this, that you will never be able to forgive him for what he has done. Of course, the only way to prevent that from happening would be to follow Suzuha's advice and try again, but there is actually no guarantee that that will be lucky. I couldn't stop myself from shaking as I looked at Maho's face.
真実を知りたいって。
Indeed, she wants to know how Kurisu died and why. But that truth will break her just as it has broken you. That was dangerous. If she tried to learn the truth, there was no doubt that she'd put herself in danger. And she'd be caught up in this madness. The Rounders, who came crashing through the veil of night. My childhood friend, who died in my arms after being shot in the head. A truly gruesome memory. And after that, the nightmarish and seemingly endless time loops. And there is Mayuri falling onto the train tracks after being pushed by Night Nuchi, an event that has somehow wormed its way into the memory of none other than Fubuki, although she hasn't told Rintaro. All the horrors that I'd experienced in the Alpha World line came flooding back, and I fought to stifle a moan.
でもそれは警察に任せておいた方がいい。
And Rintaro with a personal save, although Maho will seem a little more than disappointed.
そうかしら。
Not really.
自分でどうにかできるなんて思わないことだ。
And yet, that's the only real piece of advice that we can give,
人間一人の力なん
even
て
if it arouses her suspicions.
あまりにちっぽけなものだから。
Of course, we may have inadvertently tipped our hand there, Rintaro. After I said that, I regretted it, but it was too late. Yet one more thing we can't take back. Maho's gaze had turned into a piercing glare.
あなた、もしかして何か知っているの？
Something, more like everything. Unfortunately, we've said too much. My panic was about to show. I quickly covered my face with my hands. And I believe this brief period of momentary respite is a good time to end this episode of Let's Play Steins Gate. When we return, adventurers, we shall try to regain our composure and deal with the current situation and hopefully alleviate some, if not all, of Maho's current suspicions. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.